I want to introduce you to the concept of identity labeling. It is okay to label. There is nothing wrong with it. When you walk into the grocery store, you notice that everything is labeled, and you go to the area that says produce. In the produce section, it'll have vegetables, then it has fruits. Then you go to the fruit section, because we Kurdish people love fruits, right? So you go to the fruit section and you notice there's grapes, and then there's apples. You notice that there's red apples and there's green apples. So it is okay to label. But how we choose to use that label may or may not be okay. We all have multiple identities. Some of us are female, others identify as male. Some of us are Zakhuli, others are Bigdaudi. Some of us are Nashvillians, others may be Dakotans. Some of us are Barwari, others may be Guli. These are identities that make who we are, and these are things to celebrate and not to be disgraced. Some of us may be known as Surani, others as Bahdini. These are gifts that God, the Creator, has given us. So the fact that God has made me a Kurd and put my soul in the body of a Kurdish female, it is my Creator's gift to me. But what I choose to do with myself is my gift to my Creator when I meet Him in the grave. So be proud of your identities. Don't be arrogant. There's a difference between being proud and being arrogant. Some of our identities can change based on time and place. Some of our identities we choose and others are chosen for us. We may not have chosen our name, but we choose how we carry our name. When we came to the United States, time and circumstances brought us here. We didn't choose to leave Kurdistan. Most of us who came as refugees or asylees didn't even think about leaving Kurdistan, but therefore we came here. And so when we came here, our identities became more complex, and when they became complex, it became layered. And so we are known as American Kurds or Kurdish Americans. Time and place may influence our identities. But what we do with our identities is up to us. Our multi-layered identities are unique. So understanding yourself, recognizing the privileges and unprivileges that we all carry, and we all are privileged in some areas, and we are all unprivileged in other areas. Some of us more so than others. A prime example I want to highlight is the racism that actually takes place in the Kurdish community. I need to talk about it because I care about it. And the only way you solve a problem is when you talk about it and you address it. We tend to value someone who's of a lighter skin. Some of our community is lost in their identity and don't know whether they are black or they are white. And so therefore they attempt to act black and they attempt to act white without knowing that being Kurdish is unique and it is a blessing. Some of us tend to walk around just because we have alphabets next to our name. I have a master's degree. Who are you talking to me? I have a PhD. Address me as a doctor. No, true wisdom lies in a person's character. True wisdom is how you treat other human beings. Alphabets next to your name just shows the fact that you put in some hard work towards education in an institutionalized way. Some of the greatest, smartest, most intelligent people that I know are illiterate Peshmergas who are fighting for the rights of every single person in this world. Privileges. If you came to the United States under the age of 18 and your parents became US citizens, you automatically became a citizen and therefore you are privileged walking around with an American document. Others, like myself, I had to study to pass the civic exam in the English and be on my best moral character, and also pay $850 for that one document. But then there are others in our community who are undocumented or have came here on an immigration status that was temporary and therefore expired. Some of our families are broken up. You have people here trying to reunite with their fiancés, and they can't do so because of the backlog and the racism in our immigration system. We also have to challenge, in order to be professional, to challenge the biases within us. What does it mean to be a professional and a mother? What does it mean to be professional and a father? Are we balancing between our hobbies, our career, and our families? Are we showing bias towards certain careers or certain genders? We want our sons to become of certain careers, and our daughters, it's okay. You can be whatever you want, because you know what? Tomorrow I give you a hand in marriage and you go somewhere else. Let's actually face some of that. Everyone has it. Human beings are imperfect. I want to go back to growth mindset. These are all ways you can perfect yourself to be a better individual internally. By having a growth mindset, it becomes extremely, extremely essential. No one is going to hire you if you act like you know everything to that particular job. And it's not possible for you to be an expert in that field. You know why? Time changes. Society changes. Technology changes. Dr. Zaid could tell you that he has to constantly learn about medicine. Even though he got his degree, he cannot stop there. And in order to be a strong professional, he might continue his education. Now I want to talk also about our multi-layered identities within the community. What does it really mean to be a Kurd? What does it mean to be an American? I would say to you, take the best of both worlds and take it well. So in the Kurdish community, we are extremely communal. We have this concept of we. If it wasn't for us as a community, we would have never survived in the refugee camp. We would have never been able to integrate in the community in Nashville. Kurdish people began to take neglected buildings and neighborhoods and transform them into businesses, giving back to the community. We transformed that area in Southeast Nashville, an area that I called Little Kurdistan years ago when I served on the Nashville Public Television station. I was so excited to talk about, come and see the fact that Kurdish people are entrepreneurs. They are community oriented. They are one smart, innovative community. I had something to brag about. Take that. We define ourselves as Kurds because we, by blood, by language, and by a birthplace. These are all miracles, God's miracles within us. It is not something to be shameful of. It is something to find pride in. It is very good to note that we are extremely diverse by faith, by politics, by profession. We're not a monolithic community. Don't box the Kurds into one way of saying they're all Democratic, they're all Republican, we're a little bit of everything, and that's okay. Don't box yourself. Do not box yourself and say all the Kurdish people don't have degrees or all the Kurdish people have degrees. Don't box yourself. I want you to know that when somebody says, what is the Kurdish community? And you say, the Kurdish community is a diverse set of communities. We have different dialects. We have different faiths. There are Zoroastrians who are Kurds. There are Christians who are Kurds. We may have the majority who are Sunni Muslims, but even within that, there's diversity, right? Kurds see religion more of a spirituality journey. It's a spiritual journey than anything. This is who we are as a community. Now, what does it mean to be American? In our society, we do tend to be pushed towards individualism. We are a world of I. I want this, I want it now. iPhones, Apple, everything begins with I. Many of you who went to elementary schools here, you know that most teachers actually constantly told you, listen and do what you say, what your heart say. It is all about I. Now, to be quite honest with you, there isn't much wrong with focusing about I, but it's going to be disastrous if you only think about I. The beautiful thing about us is we come from two different worlds. I is powerless without we, and we is powerless without I. Yes, teacher, I can find out what I want to do. This is what I want to do, but I highly respect and value what my parents have to say. They are older than me. They have gained some knowledge and wisdom that I haven't quite attained. And so therefore, I'm going to leverage the power of we and the power of I to become a better person. We are also, as Americans, we're defined by our democratic values. I don't have time to go into all of them. You heard some of them. Our diversity is an American value.